afternoon, and welcome back to Let's Talk About It, All the Things. Hi, Whitney.
Hey, Chris.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Season 4.
It's been a long time.
Yes.
What, 4 months?
Well, what, since May?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We're going to be rusty.
We might be a little rusty today. Possibly.
Maybe we'll see.
Or
I don't know about that.
Maybe it's because it's our 4th season. We're just professionals now.
Possible.
I mean, you never know, right?
That's true.
All right. So today, actually, let's start off with this month.
Yeah, actually, specifically today.
Yeah.
The day we are recording this, which is the 10th, September 10th. It is World Suicide Prevention Day.
Yes, indeed. So as most of you probably know, September is Suicide Prevention Month.
Yep.
And today, as Whitney said, is specifically World Suicide Prevention Day. So it seems very appropriate that our guest today is Liz from the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, the Michigan chapter.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. I am just so excited to have somebody from AFSP on today. I just think it's very appropriate this month to have you guys, come out and talk about all the things with us, suicide prevention. So,
Yeah. First, I just want to say I love that all the things is your guys' tag, because that's I say that all the time. All suicide prevention and all the things. We have to talk about all of the things. So really grateful to be here today.
Oh, well, thank you and welcome. So why don't you start by just telling us maybe a little bit about yourself, how you got involved with AFSP, maybe what your role is with AFSP, and then we can roll into the good stuff, the really meaty stuff.
Get into the meat and potatoes. Yeah. So my story with AFSP starts 11 years ago when I lost my best friend to suicide. It was in 2014, and I was only 17 at the time. Literally had just graduated high school. Didn't know anything about really mental health or really anything in general. And about a month after he passed, we stumbled across an Out of the Darkness walk. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for that, it's too soon kind of a thing. And glad I did end up going, looking back, hindsight's 20/20 in that regard. But I experienced the opening ceremony and just I lost it, in this crowd of a couple hundred people. And I felt a hand on my back. And when I turned around, it was a teacher of mine. And I grew up in a small town, and, to see somebody who was a larger personality in the community be openly attending something like a suicide prevention walk was just like, okay, yeah, we can talk about this. And, through a lot of healing and therapy myself and that have started a journey to... at that moment, it said, if I can do something to make sure that other people don't have to feel lonely or feel the way that I was feeling with all kinds of questions after his death and whatnot, that was exactly what I was meant to do. And his loss, honestly, changed the trajectory of my life. I was going to be working in manufacturing and whatnot, and now work as a crisis line operator. So I'm grateful to be able to have, through AFSP and my years of volunteering, worked my way through, being a walk chair and serving on our chapter board as our co-chair for the state. So very grateful to be able to use the platform that we have and the story that I have to help others not feel alone.
I love that. And you were talking to me earlier. You are actually having your own Lansing Out of Darkness walk, correct?
I am, yes.
What's the date of that?
October 4th at Hawk Island Park in Lansing, for all my Lansing peeps. But it's going to be a beautiful day of connection and hope, really to show the community that there are lots of local resources available. We'll have a whole resource alley where I believe right now our number is 15 different community resources will be available, handing out different supplies. And that all ranges from, gym memberships to mental health professionals to, I think there's even a massage salon that's going to be handing out some information. So mind, body, and soul wellness, taking care of our whole being. And that's what we're really proud of what our resource alley is representing in that regard.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, should we jump into it?
I think we should.
All right. You want to lead it off, Whitney? You got some questions? You got some stuff?
I'll let you lead it off, and then I'll follow up with a few things behind that.
Excellent.
Because I did a little bit of research with stats and data and all that. So
excellent.
I just kind of want to get into a few things that I guess we'll say nitpick.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
She's always our questioner.
All right.
Yeah, I love that. All right. So let's start off with, I told you a little bit about, my story with my son passing away, and several months after I attended a suicide prevention training. And that's when I really realized that there were warning signs. Like I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't really, know that much about suicide. Really, I knew nothing. And looking back now and looking at that situation, I mean, my son exhibited several of the warning signs that everyone talks about today. And so I would love for you to maybe share some of like those signs or cues or whatever you want to call them that, people can kind of look for in people that they think maybe are struggling.
Yeah. So, firstly, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention has several different trainings. So I'm going to kind of ad-lib some of the training here a little bit. But one of our main programs is called Talk Saves Lives, because it really is that simple. And in that training, there's a slide that talks about how we're looking for three main factors in a person's talk. Maybe they're talking about giving away their possessions. Maybe they are outright saying that they are thinking about suicide. Sometimes people aren't as forward with that kind of conversation, so they might joke about suicide or those types of things. And what the key point in that is whether it's a joke, whether it seems serious or not, if someone is mentioning it, take it seriously. The second one is looking at their mood. Has their mood changed from what their usual would be? Are they a bubbly person and now they are not seeming, so bubbly, or vice versa? Maybe they haven't been, all that bubbly and now are all of a sudden expressing this happiness, which could indicate that they have decided on a plan and are comfortable in the fact that they're not going to be in pain anymore. And then third is their behavior. So have they changed, withdrawn from social settings? Are they maybe not attending events like they normally would, or hanging out with friends, or sports, or, especially things that they would enjoy normally? And anything that you notice a sudden change in any of their talk, their behavior, their mood, are indicators that you should start a conversation. And it could be simple as saying, hey, I've realized, Chris, that you seem kind of down the last couple days. Everything okay? What's going on? And it doesn't necessarily have to be straight to suicide either, but having those check-ins. Maybe in that moment you tell me when I asked you, you were doing okay, but then me asking you that establishes that I'm a safe person that you could talk to about it in the future should something happen.
I want to take the first, what I'll call red flag sign warning.
Yeah.
That you said about if, they're struggling, don't push it away, address it with them and try to help them, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of have a two-parter here.
Okay.
So before I get more in depth with that first red flag.
Yeah.
Do you believe that the nonprofit organizations or any other mental health prevention group is better than like hospitals or any professional medical facilities?
Honestly, I think it depends on each person's crisis is unique to their own. And it depends on the situation. Now, if someone is in, that deep crisis where they are ready to attempt and take their life and have really reached that state of tunnel vision, ultimately their safety becomes number one. So we have to make sure that we're protecting someone's safety. I do believe, though, that there are many, many nonprofits out there that have amazing resources and have saved a lot of lives. I will say, though, if someone's safety is of concern, then we need to think about contacting 911. And that is even starting to change, to kind of go off in a little bit there, where a lot of counties are starting to get what are called mobile crisis units. So they are getting a mental health response to a mental health crisis. Slow moving. That's a lot of the advocacy work that still has to be done. But we are starting to see those things. And I would say, to answer your question in full, in an immediate crisis, if someone's safety is in danger, then we do need to think about getting them to emergency care.
Okay, so with that being said, and now going back to that first red flag.
Yeah.
And I noticed somebody close to me, struggling, saying stuff, pretty much, that something's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I do everything in my willpower to help this person,
mm-hmm.
resources, everything. Even to where it ends up in a medical facility, hospital, wherever, and they do jack. So what do you do there?
It can be really discouraging to be in that situation. I myself have been in those situations. Ultimately, it comes down to, I wasn't prepared for that one. That's a tough one.
It is a tough question.
And it really does come down to getting connected with the right resources, the right mental health professionals. And now that's not to say that that's going to happen on the first try, and that when on the first try, as in when you go to that facility and there are, you're one of multiple people. Unfortunately, this comes down to the, looking at what our overall mental health system is and the advocacy and highlighting those needs for more resources. It really, don't give up. Don't give up trying for resources, because they are out there. And like we said, connecting with the correct nonprofits, and that's not to say that there are wrong ones out there, but making sure that you're connected with the ones who have the resources to say, or the knowledge, I should say, to say, hey, we know that this training or this set of, maybe we have our own lists, or your guys' internal lists of approved mental health people and resources, or facilities, so to speak, to say, we know that we helped someone get to this resource and their feedback was that this particular person or facility was very helpful to them. So then, in my experience, when I've had people come up and have that same experience, is, okay, maybe that one wasn't the right spot to go, or for what the situation was, but I do know that I've talked with other people who have personally experienced, or myself having been hospitalized, will recommend the resources that I personally have used, because I can vet them myself. I will say, when it comes to vetting resources, if you have that capability to help somebody, say you're the person helping someone struggling in this situation, if you have that capability to vet those resources, I would certainly recommend trying to do that. Do your research, do your gathering information and things like that as you bring those resources to the person in crisis, because someone who is in crisis at that point can't think normally about those types of things. So taking that anxiety off the table automatically for somebody can really ensure success in gaining treatment.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
For sure.
If somebody came to you with proof of somebody saying they were going to attempt to or want to kill themselves,
mm-hmm.
I don't even know how to phrase this. For a medical facility to still turn them down.
And that's our healthcare system.
It is.
It is.
That's exactly what it is.
It stinks, because there's no answer here,
Yep.
right? There just isn't. I mean, there's good facilities, there's not so great facilities. There's like good therapists, there's some not so great therapists, and the system overall, I feel like, is a little bit broken, especially in the state of Michigan. So
Oh, it's severely
agree.
broken.
it's
It's
very,
severely.
very difficult.
Yeah. And like I said, highlighting the need for advocacy and lifting up the voices who have had these experiences, because everybody's voice does matter and everybody's life matters. And we all deserve to get to the resources and treatment and support that we need to make it through these tough times.
Yeah. And I mean, your AFSP website is really good. Like, I mean, I have sent
Tons of stuff.
there's so much information out there and so many resources, and
And that website being?
AFSP.org. That's our national website. Michigan's website would be afsp.org/Michigan.
yeah, and they both have social media as well.
Yes.
And like there's just a lot of information out
Yeah.
there that's really good for people who are struggling, for caregivers, for survivors. So I mean, that's definitely a good resource. I know I've sent people.
Yes, certainly.
many times.
Lots and lots of times have I given out that email address or website. And for those who are struggling to, there is a whole section of resources, and you can even break it down locally. And I will also recommend, reaching out to the 988 Lifeline. They are staffed with crisis counselors who can handle all kinds of different psychiatric crises, but also provide mental health support. And sometimes that's the biggest thing, is people need somebody to listen. And that's available 24/7, 365 days of the year. And you can call, not just for an emotional crisis. Maybe you need some resources for healthcare professionals, or we've even had people call for needing like housing resources and things like that. So the 988 Lifeline is available for all kinds of different distress, really. And that looks different for everybody. So if you are having a hard time getting connected with a mental health professional, or finding somebody that, that gets it, certainly recommend reaching out to the 988 Lifeline.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
a great resource too. I'm glad you brought that up, because I still think that people don't know about 988.
Mhm.
It's everyone knows 911,
Yeah.
but I think that we're still on that, because it's only year 3
Yep.
of 988,
Yeah.
so it's still pretty new, and I feel like people are still, or they might know about 988, but they don't know how to
Yes.
utilize it or what they can utilize it.
And another
for.
one that I hear a lot too is people say that they've had poor experiences with a 988 call.
Oh,
And yes, that can happen. Unfortunately, that's can happen in any situation where you have a poor experience. I will say that there is significant training that crisis workers go through, and all kinds of different situations that they're trained in to provide support. And if you've had a poor experience in the past, I really, truly do recommend giving it another shot. Again, kind of the same as with the mental health professionals. One crisis worker isn't the next crisis worker, and the odds that you are going to get that same person again are very slim. So, I had someone tell me a long time ago, when I was struggling myself in kind of that rut of, man, I can't find a therapist that is really like truly helping me. And somebody explained it to me once, that you have to kind of date your therapist. You have to tell them,
Talked about that at one point.
yeah, tell them what you need and be honest about that, because especially when you make a 988 call, you're the one in the driver's seat. You're the one to say, I don't think that resource is going to be helpful for me. Or do you have something, be honest, because that's exactly what that the crisis workers are there for.
Let's take a quick time out to talk about our amazing sponsor of Let's Talk About It, Town Mortgage. Founded in 1982, the Town Mortgage family of companies has more than 40 years of experience in the mortgage industry. They are passionate about their customers, their company, and the communities they serve, as Town is actively involved with many nonprofit organizations. Their community outreach initiatives are not just a side effect of their business, it's at the heart of it. They are first and foremost a local lender. However, their commitment extends beyond outreach to the products they offer. And On a Dragonfly's Wings is proud to be one of the many charity partners associated with Town Mortgage. As a full-service lender, they manage every aspect of home financing in-house. Because their process is consultation-driven, they have the unique opportunity to educate borrowers each step of the way. By forging these relationships, they ensure their confidence and security from application to closing and beyond as they service most of the loans they originate. This means a lifelong commitment to borrowers. Their business is not fueled by sales, but by their desire to provide solutions tailored to clients' financial futures. For more information about Town Mortgage, please visit Town, Towne, Mortgage, MORTGAGE.com. Thank you, Town.
Well, I was, just like I said earlier, I was doing a little digging on some data, just because it being Suicide Prevention Month / World Prevention Day. So I kind of want to run this with you because I'm not gonna lie, it triggered me a little bit to break this down. It said that, and this is coming from the IASP, International Association for Suicide Prevention website.
Okay.
Suicide is a major public health problem, and it's estimated that there are currently more than 720,000 suicides per year worldwide. So clearly it is a big problem in this world. And I think I saw somewhere it's third most common death. But I want to break it down a little more between youth and adults, because that's exactly what they did. And I want to go from one to another and then back to the first one. So it says risk factors. Stressors may vary by age. Youth, when I say youth, teens, younger,
18 and under, maybe.
all that. Yeah, so 18 and under, we'll say is youth. Youth often face challenges of major life changes, of course, right? They're growing up, learning literally everything in this world.
Yeah.
And then they hit their teens and, well, hello, hormones.
Yep.
While adults, so 18 and over, may contend with physical illness, social isolation, and psychiatric conditions. So before we dig into that, I want to jump into impulse.
Okay.
Youth tend to be more impulsive and prone to risky behavior than adults. Okay, sure. This is partially because the prefrontal cortex, which controls the judgment and decision-making for youth, supposedly, allegedly, does not fully develop until your early to mid-20s.
That's correct.
So, going back to the risk factor for adults, I have a hard time sitting here reading this and going, what adult is not facing a major life challenge?
So right.
I mean,
Why is it just physical
true.
illness and isolation and psychiatric conditions?
Yeah, I think, and it highlights that just because you've hit a different age range, that struggles stop, because everybody faces struggles all the time. Yeah, I'd be a little upset by that.
Right? Yeah, it's like, come on, let's not,
It's very invalidating.
because I mean, then do you want to sit here and say, well, what, you're in your late 20s, did your prefrontal cortex not fully develop by then? Is that
Right.
why you're dealing with your issues? Like, I mean, I understand how they're breaking this down, but it's also, you can't just define it by one category and another when it does fall over to everybody else.
Excuse me.
You're a human being. I don't care what age you are.
Right.
I don't care, no matter what, you are a human being.
I tend to, especially when it comes to the statistics, I could go down a whole wormhole there. Blanket statements don't work. They don't when it comes to mental health. Honestly, that's the simple part of it, that they don't work. Everybody's experience is different. And yeah, okay, that would be very difficult to make, a statement for every single person. But that's exactly what we're doing by living our lives.
Right.
So blanket statements, they're not a thing. They're gone.
Yeah.
Is how I look at it.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. I would agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly.
I think that statistics are good to a point, But yeah, I think that blanket statements are probably not helpful because you are right. I mean, every single human being on this planet struggles with something, right? Every single person knows of somebody who has passed away,
Yeah.
right? So there's grief. There's divorce, there's financial hardships, there's a million, like we could talk about a million different things, but every single human being in this world has gone through something, some kind of hardship or some kind of trauma or something. So yeah, and I think that it's important to recognize that, and I think that's why it's so important to always check in with our people.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, Whitney and I did a whole podcast about I'm fine. Are you fine?
Oh my God. Don't go back
No,
to
how are
that
you
one.
really
We're going to
doing?
redo that. I swear. We're going to redo that one. I am so sorry about that still.
So we did this podcast and it didn't air because in the end,
There was an audio issue.
there's an audio issue. It was fine. But we literally, like, the whole conversation was about how many times, Whitney, how are you doing today?
I'm fine.
Is she?
How
Is
are
she
you?
really?
It's a blatant lie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times. And especially, you know, as somebody who has struggled with their mental health, we get really good at putting a face on. I can wear a mask all day long.
Yeah.
And I did for a long time, and it almost cost me my life. So then when I ask people around me, know if I ask, how are you doing? And if I have to say, how are you really doing? Out with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but that's important to be able to say that and not just that's what society expects is it's just, I'm fine. Okay, great. I'm just doing the, casual thing to say hi and, but that's what we really need is connection.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, part of that episode was, like going shopping. You get up to the cashier. Hi, how you doing? Well, how you going to answer that?
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm good. I had a really crappy day at work. Like, are you willing to have this conversation? Like,
right. If you're going to ask somebody that, you better be ready for what the response could be because you never know.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. We did a whole thing on that.
I even referenced a TV show.
Yes, that's right.
And I wish I had it still on my phone because I'd pull it up and read it. Have you ever seen Two Broke Girls?
Bits and pieces.
Oh yeah, there's an episode where she's the two friends are fighting. The one friend's like, I'm fine. And the other friend's like, no, you're not fine. That doesn't it goes whatever. It's something, fine.
Oh yeah.
Like yeah.
Yep. Fine. Yep.
Yeah.
Or Ross Geller from Friends. Fine, everything's fine.
Yep.
Everything's fine.
Yes.
So yeah. But yeah, this whole like mental health thing just brought that conversation back up because it just sinks right in.
Yeah.
So as far as Suicide Prevention Month goes, like, what are some other things that you think that people need to know?
That Suicide Prevention Month is year-round.
Yes, correct. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you for saying that.
Honestly, I mean, it is fantastic that we have a month dedicated to talking about suicide prevention. But the truth of it is, it's a year-round commitment, and it's going to take all of us. It's going to take being honest about our mental health and about how we are truly doing to make a difference and move this needle. And I'm grateful to be a part of an organization that is uplifting voices and having those conversations both locally and nationally to say, this is not okay. We need to do more about it. We need more resources, not less resources. And just check in on your people. I mean, I can't stress that enough. Something as simple. How many times do we think about a certain person or maybe think about a friend or something like that? If you think about somebody, send them a text. Check in. A lot of times people are like, oh, I don't want to reach out. But what if you're the only one that does? Mm-hmm. And then the guilt that you may have to live with because nobody potentially checked in on that person. Especially highlighting checking in on your strong friends, the ones that say, I'm fine, I got this. Because deep down, they're probably struggling with a lot.
Yeah.
and just waiting for somebody to care or give as much to a friendship as what they may give. Been guilty of that myself. I can't tell you how many times. And in that regard, when we are waiting for other people to show up, how we show up for them, you have to remind yourself. I had to remind myself. I still do, that I have to show up for me first, because I can't show up for anybody else if I'm not for myself. And especially with this volunteer work, it's so easy to see this great need, and you know, I'm just one person, but I can help collectively, you know, lots of people potentially, and then put my needs off to the side because the community's needs are so much greater. When in turn, I'm sitting there being the person to preach mental health resources and things like that to people, and I have this whole toolbox but can't bring myself to use it. And that was a dark time. It's taken a lot to get through that, and to say, how many times have we heard you can't pour from an empty cup? You have to fill yours first, you know? And as a recovering people pleaser, I'll say, that's hard. It's hard to do, but we have to remember that ourselves, our mental health is priority. When we can make ourselves a priority, my God, the way we can show up for other people in our lives is beautiful, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. I just love that you said that, because Suicide Prevention Month, or all year long, or however we want to state it, it really is, it does start with us and taking care of ourselves first. And, you know, we've preached on the show how many millions of times about self-care, and, you know, talking about doing all the things. And, you know, maybe it looks like a bubble bath, but maybe it doesn't. You know, maybe it's seeking therapy. Maybe it,
Absolutely.
you know, it looks different for every single person. But you're right. You know, we really need to take care of ourselves. I have also just started that journey as well, because I also am a little bit of a recovering people pleaser.
Yeah.
And, you know, trying to figure out helping myself. And that's looked like a lot of things for me. But my biggest thing has been therapy this year. I started that, and it's been a game changer for me.
And what an example you can set for other people too, by taking care of ourselves and just doing those little things. For me, it was self-deprecation, you know, making jokes about just different things, or, oh, that's just my ADHD showing, or, you know, that kind of a thing. And I mean, how often do we talk horribly about ourselves? We're our own worst critics. And just changing that little thing, people can't see just that one little thing is a wide lens. But if you look at it in that regard, that could potentially save somebody's life, because in a moment when they needed to hear you talk positively, that clicked in their brain. You just never know when those kinds of things are going to happen. And they're the ones that make me the most excited. Like we were talking about your camp, and seeing the kids from the beginning of the week versus the end of the week, and seeing that just like revelation of, wow, I do have tools. I have knowledge in how to take care of this. And that's one of my favorite things. Honestly, I think that's what's kept me involved for as long as it has.
Yeah. I love that. That's amazing. Yeah. Self-care is such a big, important thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, self-care people are like, oh, well, I don't have money for self-care. That doesn't have to involve money, or going to get your nails done and this, that, and is that nice? Sure. Of course. Once in a while. But like you said, as simple as taking a bubble bath, taking a nature walk, giving yourself 5 minutes to sit in the grass and feel the grass. That's one of my favorite things. I'm a total nature person when it comes to that, and having that moment to shut my brain off, because that chatter gets loud. And I think that even just 5 minutes a day, it might seem silly at first. I can't tell you how many times I tell my therapist, yep, I took care of my stupid self-care. I'm doing this for my stupid mental health. But that, making jokes about it, or I named my anxiety one time and just was like, no, Joe, we're not doing that. We're not having this conversation.
That's awesome.
I like it. Just silly things, you know, and they're just so little that make a world of difference. It's insane how much difference. It was like, okay, Joe, you're just showing. Go away, Joe.
I
I would say other
love
things
that.
to Joe, but I
I'm
won't
sure.
repeat it on the podcast.
Sure. I love that, naming anxiety.
Yeah.
Naming it, just feelings in general.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Huh. That's healing.
Yes,
Center.
absolutely.
I had a friend recently. I said something to I was talking to a friend and I said something like, God, I'm so stupid or something like that. And she literally looked me dead in the eye and said, don't talk to my friend like that.
Mhm.
And I was like, whoa,
Light
snap
bulb.
that. I know. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. I literally had to stop and really think
Mhm.
huh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. My husband got on a little train like that one day, and I said, "You're being mean to my favorite person in the world. Stop." It's just like, quit throwing your mental health stuff at me. But seriously, stop.
Oh my gosh.
I get this look when he's had enough. It's like, all right, fine.
That's awesome. So I know that there's I highly encourage our audience to go out there, check out afsp.org, look at all their resources. They also have resources for survivors of suicide. So if this month is triggering for you in a very different aspect, there's grief support groups out there. We have one here in Waterford that meets the second Tuesday of the month. So if you're interested in that, reach out to On a Dragonfly's Wings. But yeah, it's a great resource. There's so much stuff out there. And they also do a lot of out of darkness walks.
Yeah, we're kicking off our walk season on Saturday, actually, with we have our Oakland Macomb walk happening at Stony Creek Metro Park. And then we will also have our Northeast Michigan Rogers City walk happening on Saturday. And then on Sunday is our Grand Rapids walk.
Wow.
And that it's walk after walk after walk after walk. So
it's amazing though. My family, we participated in 3.
Yeah.
2019, 20, and 21.
Okay.
And yeah, just they're amazing. They're amazing events, full of support. So even if you're just somebody who's, struggling a bit, it's a really great way to go and just find other people and
people that understand it, that get
Yep.
it. And just you can all just being able to have those authentic conversations and set the anxiety or the stigma aside of oh, this person's going to think that I'm crazy because I'm, having all these feelings. That's so not the culture of our event. And I am so proud of how we have built upon that. Because people don't have that space normally.
Right.
So as a walk chair, I mean, I've chaired a decade of walks almost, and to people ask me well, why do you, what keeps you doing it? Aren't you exhausted by this? And yeah, kind of, but also no, because my cup gets filled so much in knowing that that is something that I'm a part of helping to create within our community and within our state.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yay. Whitney,
Chris,
do you have any other questions?
well, I don't have a question per se, but what colors can you wear to represent mental health and suicide prevention for even all year round? But we'll say for the month, but year round. What colors?
The most notable would be purple and teal, which is basically my entire life's color scheme.
I mean, because they're amazing colors.
They are. Exactly. People are like, oh, that's so Liz. And I'm like, yeah, guess what? It's so suicide prevention too. Green is also known to be the color for mental health awareness. And then I do believe originally the suicide prevention ribbon was actually yellow. And I read some history on it the other day, which I'm guessing you might have over there.
I don't have the full history of it. Now green I did not know about.
Oh.
It didn't pop up.
Okay.
But purple teal.
Yep.
Yellow or yellow and orange.
Really?
Combination. Yes.
Yellow and orange is not something I've heard of before. Interesting.
Yeah. So I guess the difference with yellow to yellow and orange, orange and yellow were chosen because they were the most common colors already used for suicide prevention around the world. The two-toned ribbon designed was also intended to invoke the light of a candle flame, trying That's referencing the website. It's trying to reference the light of a candle and coming out of the darkness.
That's beautiful.
So that's why they
I
have the
love
two-tone.
that.
Yeah.
That nice little light.
Beautiful.
That is awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I did not know.
I knew
that.
about purple and teal, but I did not know about yellow or orange or green.
Yeah. I think some of the history behind, I don't remember dates per se, but the history behind the yellow one was someone had died by suicide and the family they handed out little ribbons and that was the color that they chose. And it just kind of grew into a movement from there. And that's kind of where it started. So I don't know when like the purple and teal, like what the timeline of all that looks like, but that's the rainbow of colors. Feel free to wear them year round to tell people that suicide prevention isn't just a month.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And yellow is actually my favorite color. So
Nice.
I love that.
yeah, it just feels sunshiny and
Yes.
cheerful.
Yeah.
I guess. But I
Yeah.
love that yellow orange definition. It's very great.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, because I went on what was this IASP's website, and they had the yellow orange ribbon. I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah,
Like, I
that's
thought it was
what I
yellow
would. That's
and
what I
teal,
would thought
like,
too. Like, wait,
What's going
what?
on here? Like, is this wrong? So I googled it. What colors?
Yes.
And it popped up with these minus the green.
Interesting.
Okay, they were right.
I love it.
Excellent.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We sure do.
So yeah, wear purple, teal, yellow, and or orange to represent any of that
Mm-hmm.
all year round.
All year round.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate you coming on, Liz. I know you
Yes.
drove all the way from Lansing to
That's
come up
okay.
here and do this with us in person. And we're so grateful that you
Yeah.
did that and could join us and talk a little bit. And so thank you very much for being
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. Happy to be here and, really have any kind of time to share about mental health and things like that because, like I said, talk really does save lives. So if anybody has any questions or wants resources from AFSP or those types of things, on our chapter website, afsp.org/Michigan is all of our contact info. And that's part of what we do as an organization is provide resources and training all at no cost to the community.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Also where you can check out the walk closest to you.
That's right. Sign up for a walk. They're amazing.
Yes. Do a
Highly
little
recommend.
self-care and come to a
Yep.
walk.
Yeah.
And there you go. Stars.
So
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Liz.
Thank you,
We really
guys.
appreciate it. And everyone, reach out to somebody today.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your call to action today. Check on a
Yeah.
friend.
Yep. Check on a friend today.
Yes.
All right. We will catch you
On the flip side.
This podcast is presented solely for educational and entertainment purposes. We are just your friends. Whitney and I are not licensed therapists, and this podcast is not intended as a substitute for the advice of a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professional.